worship with us. At the end of this broadcast, we will give you detailed information about our address and worship service times, as well as our Bible study times. But thank you again for tuning in. May God bless you. Something that will encourage you as you seek to know more about the gospel and more about what Jesus has done for us on the cross of Calvary. If you don't mind standing, I want to read from 2 Corinthians chapter 4. 2 Corinthians chapter 4. And the verse is number 7 through 12. Let me tell you what I want to talk about, then I'm going to try to talk about it, then I'm going to tell you what I told you. I want to talk about cracked but not shattered, and bruised but not broken. Cracked but not shattered, bruised but not broken. The scripture reads like this: but we have this treasure in earthen vessels, so that the surpassing greatness of the power will be of God and not from ourselves. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not despairing, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed, always carrying about in the body the dying of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus also may be manifested in our body. For we who live are constantly being delivered over to death for Jesus' sake, so that the life of Jesus also may be manifested in our mortal flesh. So death works in us, but life in you. That's the reading of the text, and all God's people said, amen. You may be seated. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Cracked but not shattered, and bruised but not broken. I want you to see the difference between being cracked and shattered. And I want you to see the difference between being bruised and broken. If a vessel is cracked, it can still be repaired. But if that same vessel is shattered, it's different, it's difficult to put it back together. And life can crack you, but don't let life shatter you. Life may bruise you, but don't let life break you into pieces. Paul makes this statement about being cracked, being bruised, being persecuted, going through a lot of different emotions in life. I want to talk about this chaos that existed at Corinth. Acts 18 should have been read this morning in your hearing. And if it was read, I wanted it read because it gives us the second missionary journey. It was during the second missionary journey of Paul that he established the church at Corinth. And I want you to see how he was treated. He had to leave Corinth, a church that he started, and they ran him out of town. And Corinth was a church that I said was pregnant with potential. I mean, it was a spiritually gifted church. I mean, when you read 1 Corinthians 12 and 1 Corinthians 14, you'll find that they had all kinds of spiritual gifts. Someone could speak in tongues. Someone could interpret the tongues. Someone could prophesy. Someone could heal, and someone could do a number of things, but with all that gift, instead of using that gift for the Lord, they were competing with one another, and one gifted member thought he was better than the other gifted member because of the gift that that individual had. It was a church pregnant with potential, but there were carnal Christians in the church at Corinth. They were distracted disciples, and they had all kinds of problems. I'm not going to take the time to go through a list of all the problems at Corinth, but they did have problems where they took one another to court. They had problems with marriage, and single folk were acting like they were married, and married folk wanted to be single. Y'all ain't going to help me here. Don't make me work hard now, because this first Sunday, I want to get you out on time. But if you put me in the icebox, it takes me longer to get warm. They had problems with the resurrection, and then some of them came to church, but they came for the wrong reason. They abused the Lord's Supper. Instead of coming to observe the Lord's death, they were getting their drink on. And Paul had to deal with a number of things in that passage of Scripture. And then on top of all that, Paul had a dilemma. He had a dilemma because he wrote 2 letters to them. Well, he wrote more than 2, but we have inspired 2 letters. And in this second letter, Paul is defending his apostleship. For some reason, they thought that Paul was not authentic, that he was not a real apostle. This is the church that he established. This is the church that he baptized some folk in. This is the church that he spent time in. But after leaving, someone started the rumor that Paul was not an authentic apostle. And Paul said, well, I'm going to come visit you. He wrote to them and said, I'm going to come and visit you in public. I'm going to face you publicly. And they wrote back and said, Paul, you can stay where you are. Just write to us, but you don't want to come. And then they started criticizing his preaching. They said to Paul, look, Paul, you mighty with pen. Oh, man, when you ain't facing us, you talk a bad, big talk. But when you come, your preaching ain't nothing to brag about. And so Paul was going through all of this when he wrote this second letter to the church at Corinth. And what Paul is really trying to do is defend himself. And he's trying to say, I am an apostle. I love the Lord. I love the Lord's church. But they thought that he was in it for the money. And Paul had to tell, look, I ain't in it for the money, because look, ain't that much money in ministry. I could be a tent maker, because he was a tent maker by trade. And Paul had it going on, and Paul was a Pharisee, and Paul studied under Gamaliel, and Paul was really in line to have a seat on the Sanhedrin Council. And Paul gave all of that up to preach one Lord, one faith, and one baptism. And Paul gave all of that up to be ridiculed and ostracized and criticized, and the finger pointed at him. And Paul is trying to tell them that hey, I am an apostle. I am sincere. I am concerned about your welfare. And then he says in verse number 7, but we have this treasure in earthen vessels. And what Paul is talking about is the treasure is the gospel of Jesus Christ. And what Paul is trying to say is, members of the church at Corinth, don't focus on the container, but focus on the content. In other words, Paul is saying he is just a container that has been entrusted with the gospel of Jesus Christ. And this container is really a clay jar. It's a jar of clay. Y'all come a little closer here. In Bible times, jars could be made from a wide variety of material. They could make a jar out of glass, a jar out of wood, a jar out of stone, a jar out of brass, a jar out of gold or silver. But clay jars were the most common containers manufactured in Bible times. And in Bible time, individuals generally would put valuable objects in containers or jars to be stored. And the more valuable the item, the nicer the container. In other words, if you had something of value, you put it in a nice jar. But then they got smart and they realized, well, we don't want to advertise what we have. Instead of putting a valuable object in a nice jar, a jar of glass, a jar of wood, a jar of gold, a jar of silver, that's going to draw too much attention. So what they started doing was getting common clay, getting dirt and jars that were made of dirt and clay, and putting a valuable object in that. So because they figured that robbers wouldn't get a jar of clay, they wouldn't get a jar that was made of dirt, and so they put it in that. And Paul, using that analogy, said that God has instructed a treasure, and the treasure is the gospel. What Paul is saying is, God did not put the treasure in something valuable that would attract attention. He put the treasure of the gospel in earthen vessels. Are y'all with me here? What Paul is trying to say is, the content is valuable, not the container. In other words, don't put so much focus on the messenger. Put the focus on the message. In other words, the messenger, now he's important. I don't want you to leave here saying, well, treat the preacher any kind of way. A preacher ain't nobody. No, that ain't what I'm saying. That ain't what Paul is saying. Paul, I know how church folk think. Preacher just another man like us. He put on his pants one leg at a time like us. That's not where Paul is going. Paul ain't going there. Paul is saying that when it comes to the gospel of Jesus Christ, that God didn't use something that would attract attention, but God put the gospel in a clay jar so that folk would not look at men, but folk would look at the message. Y'all ain't getting this. God did not, when it came to sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ, God did not use angels. He did not use seraphims. He did not use a cherub to proclaim the good news of the gospel. But when it came to proclaiming that Jesus died for our sins, God used dirt and dust, trial and error, mud and clay, sweat and must to proclaim the good news of the gospel. I came to say this morning, God can use a stuttering preacher. God can use a forgetful preacher. God can use a cowardly preacher. God can use a timid preacher to proclaim the gospel, because the power is not in the messenger. The power is in the message. And when it came to proclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ, God entrusted the gospel in earthen vessels. I came to say we need to take the focus off ourselves and put it back on God. Say amen if you can. Some of us come to church for a show. Some of us come to perform. And I came to say, sometimes folk come to church and ain't said nothing about Jesus. Boy, he sang good. Boy, he sure preached this morning. What did he preach? I don't know, but it sure sounded good. Oh, he sang good. What song did he sing? I can't remember, but it sure made me feel good. Don't you realize that the gospel, the focus ought to be in the content and not on the container? And so what Paul does in verse 8, 9, and 10, I want to give you three things. Paul says to the church at Corinth, don't focus on the container, but focus on the content. shows them why they shouldn't focus on the container. He said, because we're weak, but we're strong. Watch this, watch this. We're weak, but we're strong. I want to say this morning that in this audience, I can say without fear of successful contradiction that we are the community of the cracked and chipped. Some of us got cracked last year. Some of us were chipped last year. Do I have some help here? Some of us buried loved ones. Some of us made doctor visits. Some of us were in the hospital. Some of us lost jobs. Some of us had broken hearts, broken promises. Some of us have been down in the valley. I want to say this morning, in this audience, y'all can look holy and sanctified if you want to, but there's some chip folk up in here. There's some crack folk up in here. Matter of fact, you looking at a crack preacher. Say amen, somebody. This morning they introduced me as Dr. Crusoe, and I came back and told them I'm Dr. Crack Crusoe. I got some chips this morning. Anybody gonna help me here? I see Brother Chip out there. I see Sister Chip out there. I see Brother Crack and Sister Crack. Life is difficult. Am I right about it? And I came to say this morning, in this audience, there's some folk who are cracked pots. We've been chipped. We've been bruised. But good God Almighty, we ain't broken. Do I have some help? Marcus, I'm going to get happy. To me and you going to get happy this morning. Because if you know anything about life, life can mess with you. And things will turn in the blink of an eye. But I came to say, if you know the Lord, you can be cracked, but don't let life shatter you. Help me, somebody. You can get bruised, but don't you get broken. Hold on to God's unchanging hand. And watch my man Paul. Paul is going to share with the church of Corinth. We are weak, but we are strong at the same time. Brother Crusoe, I need some help this morning. Brother Crusoe, tell me the secret. Brother Crusoe, how can I be weak and strong at the same time? Preacher, give me the formula of how I can be strong, but I'm weak. How I'm weak, but I'm strong. Anybody want the formula? I said, does anybody want it? I said, does anybody really want it? Anybody want to know how you can be weak and strong at the same time? Watch the text. Stay in your text. Stay in your text. Watch what Paul said. Watch what he said. It's going to get good up in here. Good God Almighty, it's going to get good up in here. Anybody, it's going to get good up here. He's going to tell us how you can be weak and strong at the same time. Not only are folk weak and strong, there's some wounded survivors up in here. I got chipped, but I'm a survivor. Talk back to me if you can. I got bruised, but I'm a survivor. Do I have any help up in here? So some of us walk around like we done died. Like we lost the battle. Like, no. If you know the Lord, and he knows you, you can be down in the valley, but you know you're going to be up on the mountaintop. It's just a matter of time. Do I have any faith believers in here in the house? Watch this. I'm going to help you. We're wounded survivors. What Paul said? Paul said, we are afflicted in every way. That's on the left side. Are y'all with me? See, on the left side of life, there's affliction. But on the right side of life, we not crushed. Oh, I wish I had some help. See, some of y'all still on the... Can I talk to you like I really want to talk to you? Leave some stuff in 2019. Don't bring it into 2020. Help me, somebody. Now watch Paul. Watch my man Paul. Paul said, on the left side, we afflicted. But on the right side, we not crushed. On the left side, we perplexed. But on the right side, we ain't in despair. On the left side, we persecuted. On the right side, we not forsaken. On the left side, we struck down. But on the right side, we not destroyed. I don't want to give you no fairy tale and make you think that just because you are a child of God, just because you say no to the world, just because you live right, you will be problem free. You're going to have some problems, but I wish I had some help here. I'm afflicted, but I'm not crushed. Y'all gonna help me with this? When Paul talked about, King James says we are troubled. And the word trouble means we're crowded in. We're crowded in. And I don't know about you, but sometimes life can crowd you in. Can back you up into a corner and you don't know which way to turn. You got to make some choice, but you don't know which choice to make. And pressure's on you. But the good news, the formula is the child of God realizes that when they are afflicted, don't let the affliction crush you. You don't stop coming to church. You don't stop reading your Bible. You don't start talking negative talk because you had some affliction. What makes you think you so special you won't be afflicted? And when your afflictions come, don't think that the world is going to stop just because you're going through affliction. You're a child of God. And when afflictions come, it does not crush us. The word perplexed means to be in doubt, unable to find your way out. You at loss. You press like grapes. You squeezed. Am I talking to anybody? Man, in 2019, folk may have squeezed you, but you ain't in despair. Am I preaching yet? Persecuted. That means to be tormented. Say amen now. Man, some of us, ain't nobody persecuting me. Some of us can't sleep at night. Got these thoughts and these dreams. Life has dealt with us in such a way we just feel persecuted. And then he says cast down. I'm glad Corey sang that song, Trouble in My Way. I got to cry sometimes. So much trouble. I got to cry sometimes. I lay awake at night. But that's all right. Y'all talk back to me. Why is it all right? Because Jesus will what? Jesus will what? When he gonna fix it? He gonna fix it. Do I have a church this morning? Trouble in the church. I gotta pray sometimes. So much trouble, I gotta pray sometimes. Y'all talk back to me. But Jesus will what? What will he do? He gonna fix it when? Trouble in my home. It makes me moan sometimes. So much trouble, these hard-headed kids. You tell them to take out the trash, and they take their time doing it. Won't make their bed. Am I talking to anybody? Trouble in my home. What in the world done happened to that man I married? What happened to that woman? I know we both got older, but we expected that. Am I talking to anybody yet? We expected after a few years we're going to put on some pounds. We're going to lose our hair. Steps going to get slower. But sometimes trouble can come in my home. And instead of getting closer together, we further apart than we were when we said I do. Trouble in my home, I got to moan sometimes. Y'all talk back to me. But Jesus will what? When will he fix it? Y'all believe that? Yeah, we wounded survivors. We wounded survivors. I'm a survivor. Say amen. Turn to you and say, neighbor, I'm a survivor. Now say it like you mean it. Neighbor, I am a survivor. I'm going to make it. It don't matter what happened. I'm going to make it. I'm going to hang in there. And I'm not going to bring 2019 into 2020. I don't care what they said. I don't care what they did. I don't care what you think. I'm a wounded survivor. That's what Paul is really trying to say. He's trying to say, y'all can talk about me if you want to. I'm afflicted, but I ain't crushed. I'm perplexed, but I ain't in despair. I've been persecuted, but I ain't forsaken. I've been struck down, but I'm not destroyed. Are y'all with me? Now, why could Paul say that? Watch this. Because when you walk with the Lord, you got to get to a point in your text. Watch this. Verse 10. This is why Paul, I'm a wounded survivor, but I ain't going to give up. Because, verse 10, always caring about in the body the dying or the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be revealed in our body. All right? For we who are alive are always being given over to the death for Jesus' sake, so that his life may also be revealed in our mortal body. Paul, what you really trying to say? Paul is trying to say, we trust and pray that today's broadcast has been a blessing to your soul. We are a Bible-believing church, and we have adopted a model of bridges, breaking barriers, and becoming. We want to invite you to come and help us to do that. Help us to build bridges. Help us to break barriers. And help us as we seek to help others become believers. Our address is 2106 Arlington Road in Hopewell, Virginia. Our telephone number is 804-668-2183. Our worship service times on Sunday is at 10:15 a.m., followed by a 11:45 Bible study. And then on Wednesday, we meet at 7 o'clock p.m. If there's anything we can do to help you along your spiritual journey, please give us a call. May the Lord bless you, and may he bless you